Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, ET special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Here's what we have lined up on the show today. On our Inside segment, a conversation with DS Group, the company behind the Pulse Hard Candy. On Bright Sparks tonight, we are featuring Data Resolve and Mr. Home Care. So that's what we have in store for you tonight. Let's start off right away with our Inside conversation. While the overall sweet candy market is growing at 14% year on year, the hard-boiled candy segment, according to reports, is spec'd around 2,100 crore rupees and estimated to be growing at about 24%. That, however, doesn't even come close to the phenomenon which is Pulse, the hard candy which has a raw mango flavor and a tangy scent. It has seen, like I said, phenomenal growth since its launch late last year. I caught up with the management of the company to decode what the success mantra has been. Take a listen. I want to start, of course, by talking about your candy, which has gone through the roof. Sales of Pulse has been phenomenal. You know, what really, in your opinion, do you think has been behind the success?
If I talk about the product Pulse, I would start with the 4 P's of marketing. And I would say, product is the most crucial part of all the 4 P's. And the product has to be differentiated, or, a value-added product in this category was required at this point of time. We did a need gap analysis, and we realized that it's important, if you want to get into this category, it's important that we should get with a value addition or a differentiated product. Otherwise, the chances of success are not that great. And so, when we thought about this product, this concept, and we thought, which flavor we should go with. And raw mango and mango together contribute about 50% of the industry. So we thought raw mango, being the populist, the popular one out of the lot, contributes about 26%, and we thought we'd venture with raw mango. Another insight was that raw mango is one flavor, which is liked with tanginess across India, I'd say, and cuts across all age groups, that flavor, raw mango. So I thought, we thought that we need to get with that flavor, but yet what else we can do with that flavor? It was important for us to experiment with different things, And with the need gap analysis, we realized that raw mango is eaten with tanginess. And so we took that concept and we said we need to bring that tanginess. So we had this powdered center where we have the tangy powdered center that gives you the feel of tanginess with kacham. So that is what the consumers wanted. Moving on to the price, the category at the point of time when we launched, it was 50 paisa was about 86% of the market was at 50 paisa. 1 rupee was only 14%. We thought if we need to get with a value-added product and a differentiated product, we need to price it right. And because of the input costs and everything, it's very difficult to sustain at 50 paisa. So I think 1 rupee was justified in terms of value addition, and also in terms of the inputs, costs and everything. Then the placement. We have a very robust distribution network, and placement is our strength. So I think that was one of the reasons that we from Pan Plus outlets to a modern retail, we are very strong, and these kind of products are mainly sold at Pan Plus outlets to a modern retail stores. Coming back to the promotion thing, I think promotion, we did a lot of sampling, we did a lot of outdoor activities, but what we didn't do was the TV commercial, and I think soon that would be also on air.
You've launched less than a year ago, Shashank. Where are you right now in terms of sales?
We launched a year back. In terms of distribution, in terms of placement, we are there pan-India, across the country. In terms of number, we crossed a 100 crore mark, and we've also crossed a 150 crore mark.
Okay, let's talk about how large the market is in India. The hard-boiled candy market, just how large is that? And what percentage of the FMCG market is that contributing? And where do you see yourself in the next, say, 4 to 5 years in terms of a contribution from this particular product?
I think if I talk about the industry is at 2,100 crores. This year, the industry has grown with very good numbers. It's 23%. Last 2 years, the category has grown by 12%. So I think some bit of that also goes to Pulse. So the category, I think, with these kind of innovations and with these kind of products into the market, the industry would definitely grow at a much faster rate, I think, in the next 5 years. And we see ourselves as one of the leading players in this hard-boiled candy segment, also in the confectionery segment.
Okay, let's take a slightly, big picture view at this point, Shashank. What advice would you have for the viewers of this show who are in the FMCG space, who are in the confectionery space, about what it's really going to take to A, survive the first year of entering, the market, and B, what it's going to take to sustain themselves going forward?
If I have to talk about, the different, about the confectionery segment, I would say there's a huge opportunity in this segment. What you need is what the consumers want. You need to understand what the consumers want, and that is the most critical aspect. If you give what the consumers want, the probability of success is very high. The same applies to all the segments, I would say. So whether it is a confectionery segment, whether it is any other segment in the FMCG sector, it actually, it's important to listen to the consumer, listen to the market, and see what the market demands.
So your product, Pulse, has really taken the market by storm because, like you were saying, there was a USP. You realized there was nothing like it in the market, and that's what you worked on developing. What advice would you have in terms of finding that USP in what's clearly a very competitive market?
It's a very competitive market, as I mentioned, and so instead of focusing on the competition, you need to focus on the consumers, I said. What addition you can do with that product, what the consumers want. And if you realize that, as I mentioned, that kacha aam is always enjoyed with tanginess across India. So that little thing, that was important for us to capture in that product. And that is how we captured that insight from the consumers and developed that product. So I think, getting back to the same thing that, you have to listen to what the consumers want and what are their eating habits. What is the consumer behavior? That is very, very critical for any product in the market, I think.
The kind of revenue and the kind of sales that you've seen for Pulse has been driven by zero advertisements. You're talking about television advertisements, which will possibly come up sometime in the future. But as of now, it's all been largely word of mouth for you, Shashank. How has that experience been?
I think what we did was we gave a product with what the consumers wanted, and then they took it forward. And we are very great, we are very overwhelmed with the kind of response that we are receiving from our consumers. If I talk about social media, there has been a lot of conversation on the experiences of Pulse, and people are making their own advertisements, their version of Pulse. People are doing dub smashes. So it is very encouraging for us,
So you're talking, for example, about dub smashes that, your fans have made. That essentially is social media. And social media is playing a very crucial role when a lot of brands are concerned. What advice would you have for our viewers, Shashank, in being able to really, A, use social media for advertisements and brand building, and B, being able to harness it?
I would say, all the mediums are important. Traditional media can't be underestimated, I would say. It's important to have all the different mediums. It depends what your target audience is and where your target audience is spending his time, whether it's on television, whether it's on social media, or whether it's on radio. So I think for a plan, you need to have all the three or all the different aspects of, where your consumer is, it is a medium. So whether it is sampling, whether it is market, whether it is TV commercial, whether it is radio, so all the mediums are important.
Okay, what advice would you have in terms of rural markets? You were talking about how the strength really of your distribution channel is one of the things that's gone towards the success of Pulse. So how does one really, strategize when it comes to distribution in rural markets particularly?
Rural markets is very important. Urban and rural both, I would say, and rural the problem was the product was not, the products were not getting to the rural market. The products needed to get to the rural market for it to establish itself. The strategy depends on different products. Some products may have to go to the rural way and then go to the urban way. But I think in terms of confectionery, I would say, yes, you need to first establish yourself in the urban area and then move to the rural area, or simultaneously move to the rural area.
As we wind down this conversation, Shashank, what are the next 5 years looking like for you at the company and not just the Pulse product?
I would say, we are expanding our footprints in the FMCG segment, in the food and beverage segment. That is the most important for us. We are looking for innovative products. That is our strength, and quality and innovation are two pillars of our organization. So I would say that is the zone that we want to be in.
Let's take a break. On the other side, we feature two companies, Data Resolve as well as Mr. Home Care. To stay tuned. Welcome back to Leaders of Tomorrow. On Bright Sparks tonight, I'm featuring Data Resolve and Mr. Home Care. Data Resolve Technologies is making a niche in India's tech space with its efficient enterprise security solutions, helping businesses tackle cyber fraud and optimize their growth potential. The company is today becoming a renowned name for mitigating data theft risks, which is a wide range of user-friendly software and technology tools. Libza Manan brings you this report.
India's startup boom has seen an increasing number of enterprises recently come into being. One company that is securing their web presence and is helping fight cybercrimes is Data Resolve. Technology is under the able leadership of Dhruv Khanna, who has over 15 years of experience in enterprise security services.
What was the idea behind the inception of Data Resolve Technologies, and what prompted you to take a plunge into the cybersecurity market?
We looked at the Indian market, right, and we see there are a lot of problem statement challenges customers are facing, right, with respect to the information getting leaked out from the organization. Employees are unproductive, right? We have seen situations where the frauds are happening, right? And we see this is a very big market. There's a big opportunity where there's no single vendor who is able to address this end to end. So that's how we conceptualize our story called InDefend. We call it Internal Defender, and we release this in the market to address these three typical pain points what clients are facing today.
The startup space is witnessing immense flow of tech startups. Amidst this, how is Data Resolve creating a niche for itself and standing out of the clutter?
See, if you look at it, the cyber security is a very niche area by itself as a definition, right? So there are a lot of companies who are in the tech space, right? But cyber security, you will hardly find more than 3 or 4 companies, right? So on the one hand, the tech space is mushroomed by a lot of people, but when it comes to cyber security as an area, right, it's a very unique niche area, need different set of skill set, right, and manpower, and definitely it needs a concept, an idea to grow and manage customer risk, right? So that's become one of the reasons why we prefer to pick up this as an area, and it all helped us to grow to the next level.
Any tips for SMBs and corporates to prevent data leak attempts?
See, one of the biggest challenges which we look at globally, everybody talks about data theft, data leakages, right? But one of the missing element is that all these things are employee driven, individual driven, right? And the recommendation is the organization should have a control via which they can monitor and mitigate risk which are getting originated from employees, and that's where InDefend plays a very important role for a lot of companies.
When it comes to startups and SMBs, an additional cost of online security might pinch the pockets of these new ventures. So how affordable are Data Resolve services?
We have built our entire story on cloud, right? With the adoption of cloud, the client literally has, they don't need to pay anything when it comes to hardware, operating system, software and database. So from the cloud, we host our server, host our application, and then monitor the customer endpoints which are running, right? So that's where we reduce the cost of ownership for the customer. And that's what we have been seen as a success story for us so far.
Data Resolve Technologies offers a wide gamut of data protection and cyber intelligence suites. From employee monitoring, behavior analysis, and mobile data security solutions to data leak prevention, this brand makes businesses secure through both on-premise and cloud platforms.
Data Resolve has witnessed traction of investors and has raised funds. So give us more insights into the company's fundraising plans.
So we have been funded well by our group of angel investors. They are the global eminent investors who have been investing into very large global companies. They are current our investors and have been supporting us in terms of our continuous growth.
Cybersecurity market is a booming industry with the rise of Internet of Things. What do you have to say about this industry and how difficult was it to penetrate in a space like this?
Overall, it's a great area for us. Cybersecurity as an industry is growing in this country, right? And we have seen companies adopting Indian startups, and I think we've been fortunate enough with the government support. There's a change in the sentiments. There is a change in the thought process of the customer, where they're ready to procure products, services from the Indian companies.
With the startup boom in India, the government has launched a couple of schemes to boost new businesses, and PM Startup India is surely one of them. How beneficial has been such initiatives in the growth of your business?
Absolutely. So a very good point. In fact, the last two initiatives by our PM, Mr. Modi, right? He clearly talked about the cybersecurity is a bigger agenda, right? And he wanted to encourage cybersecurity entrepreneurs to come out. As an offshoot of that, they have built a body called CSTF, Cybersecurity Task Force, which is under the aegis of NASSCOM. And we are one of the contributing members to that CSTF. So definitely that initiative helped us a lot. It also helped us to penetrate into a lot of government initiatives. We are working with few government clients also. So really it's a great boost for companies like us in this space.
How do you envision the company's growth in the next couple of years?
One, to scale this company whereby we can able to manage, mitigate, monitor every device, right, across the board, right? So today we talk about desktop, laptop, tablets, mobile devices. Tomorrow we see smart devices, smart watches, smartphones coming up, right, in a different way. So we want to secure every device where information lies, which is accessed by an employee. So that's our larger vision on the technology side. At the same time, wanted to penetrate into multiple sectors in India and outside India from the scale standpoint of the company.
Within a span of 2 years, Data Resolve has won several awards for its innovative offerings. The company soon plans to go global, eyeing the US and MEA markets in the next couple of months. An ambitious target that is all set to raise the benchmark in the niche cybersecurity market in India.
On Bright Sparks tonight, we have a professional on-demand home care services company that provides cleaning and care facilities at your home at a very affordable cost. Right now, it has over 5,000 happy customers and has recently raised nearly $1 million in funding. Palumi Mukhopadhyay has this report.
Technology has entered our homes in more ways than one. Mobile devices give you the power to purchase online, pay online, and avail any service you want sitting in your drawing room. One company that used innovative tech to keep your homes clean is Mr. Home Care. Stemmed from the parent firm Scylla, Mr. Home Care provides services like deep cleaning and floor polishing, painting and contracting, air condition servicing, and pest control. Sahil, why did you tap into the business of cleaning and care services?
So our background is that we started a company called Scylla in 2010, which is in the real estate services space. We provide facility and project management services for large corporates. And having done the B2B part of real estate services, focusing on businesses, we thought there was an opportunity to tap the consumer market with the same basket of services under the brand Mr. Home Care.
Since Mr. Home Care is born out of a parent company, Scylla, how difficult or challenging was it to create a brand name for the same?
So we used the credibility that Scylla had built over the last 5 years to validate that we have the service and operational bandwidth to build a business in the consumer side. However, we did have to, and we continue to work on building the brand out using digital marketing, social media, and the various options available to create brands today.
Sahil, what is your take on the Skill India movement? Do you think Mr. Home Care is contributing to this campaign in any way?
We, over the last 5 years, have been skilling, hiring and recruiting people for our various businesses and services. We've set up 6 training centers across the country in order to make sure that we're able to vocationally train people and then provide jobs. The Skill Development Ministry is now institutionalizing it a bit more. We are empaneling ourselves with some of their programs, and I think it's a positive step.
Mr. Home Care provides an organic base for consumers' backend of the on-demand services in India with a service delivery mechanism. The company has over 300 service delivery staff that undergoes professional training and background checks before getting assigned for tasks. Rishabh, what kind of a business model do you have for Mr. Home Care?
So our model is to own the entire delivery from the start to the end. So from background verification to training to actually delivering the service. Because of the strength we have with Sila and our background there, we're able to control the entire process and then give a better customer experience, right? So the focus is to have sticky customers, follow a model where we own the entire process, and that's what our model is today.
Give us an idea about the services portfolio that you provide.
We break our services up into 4 baskets. Cleaning, under the cleaning basket, we do stuff like deep cleaning, carpet shampooing, polishing of marble, floors, windows. That's one. Second is pest control, which would be every single pest control service that you can think of. Interior painting and contracting is something we do, which is fit outs, painting, entire turnkey jobs for small homes and offices. And the last being AC servicing, which would be, wet and dry basic AC servicing.
How difficult is managing logistics for these kind of services when a consumer need to trust the company who's providing such services at their homes?
Right, so there's 2 parts to this. One is the background verification and the trust factor, right? We do everything from a police verification. We have our own system called a BVC, where we do a court records check of the person, a physical address proof, an identity proof in general, and a lot of information is taken from the person during training, right? So we do all we can to ensure that the person that we're sending into the home is trained, known, and background verified. Our tech allows us to track our people, our service delivery teams, job start, job completion, and just make sure that we are able to manage our operations a lot better.
How is Mr. Home Care different from other startups which are tapping into the same space?
We do have an organic customer base that we have been building. However, we work with a lot of the startups in this space. So the marketplaces such as HouseJoy or Urban Clap, we work closely with them, service a lot of their customers. Because our strength is delivery, our model is not to go out and acquire customers and spend those dollars online. So what we do is we actually deliver the services on behalf of a lot of these guys. And our goal, as I said, is profitability. Hopefully doing this along with the organic business we get will take us to profitability.
With the on-demand services market growing at rapid speed in the country, Mr. Home Care has proved itself to be the roadrunner amongst the home services companies in India.
With that, it's a wrap in this edition of Leaders of Tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you. Do write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. Reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT or call us on that number which is on your screen. Thanks for watching.